Alright guys, I am back and I am going to be covering week 2 of basic training with the Air Force. My husband is entering week 3, so we just finished week 2. I also have a video covering 0 week and the first week. So if you want to see what those weeks are like, or your husband or spouse is about to go in to BMT, you should check that video out, and it covers first phone call, the first like 72 hours, the traveling to Lackland and all that stuff. I have Archie here. He has made a cameo in the previous video, but if you see his little leg right here, he had to get blood work done, so I think that'll take a while to grow back, but right now he's just staring out the window. So right into week 2, I already noticed a huge difference. You will receive, or at least I received, I want to say 3 letters. One of them just had like 1, and then the second letter I received had like multiple days in it. So it seemed like he had a little more time to write at the end of first week than he did in the beginning. So I think he had said they give them about like 15 minutes at the end of the night, where you can write letters or just your own like free time. And then on Sundays as well is when they can write letters, read letters, and all that stuff. He had wrote in one of his letters that he was writing on guard. So he had guard duty, which I'm not too familiar with, but I'm pretty sure he's just like outside of the dorm on guard overnight. I don't know if it's overnight, but he said he was writing at like 4 a.m. and it was pitch dark. So he can write then, and I think there's more time, and they're a little more lenient on giving them that time to write letters. Once again, I do have my notebook down here with some notes, just to cover week 2 and see what it was like. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, so I actually received a phone call from him, and it was not his 15-minute phone call. He had actually called couple of days ago in the morning, and it was, we needed to send some more paperwork because we had gotten married over the summer, and what he had brought with him like wasn't sufficient, so I had to go to the court, get some more paperwork, and mail it to him. And he had told me that in one of his letters, the like first or second letter he sent me. He was like, hey, can you send this document? And because of like the delay in like snail mail, I don't think he has gotten my letter of that, like he hasn't gotten the document yet. So he called, and I think his like MTI or whoever he was working with was like, hey, call your wife, see if she's sent it yet. So it was literally 35 seconds, and he was like, hey, I just wanted to make sure, did you mail it out? And I was like, yeah, I totally mailed it out. Like, is this your 15-minute phone call? And he's like, no, sorry, have a good day, love you, bye. And I was like, but honestly, it was so nice. Like, even like 10 seconds, like, got to hear his voice. He had energy. Like, I don't know, it was just something. So that was the first time I had heard his voice since the phone call saying that he like landed and I got his address. So that was super cool. And then I finally received a letter from him stating that he had received my first letter. So that's reassuring. It's going in the same area, it's getting to the right address. It seems like his letters are coming to me quicker than my letters are getting to him, which is kind of concerning because I'm writing like every single day and he should be getting them. Like, I'm not, like, he should be getting a lot of letters, and it seems by the way that he's writing back that he's not getting them as soon as possible. I don't know if MTIs hold letters for like a certain number of days, or I don't know what the process is over there, but it seems like when he mails them out, they get here within like 3 days, because he like dates the letter at the top of the paper. So it's nice. I'm getting a bunch of letters from him. Other than that, it's really like just like a waiting game. I was able to read his letters over and over again. I was writing letters as well, and like I think I mailed out like 4 or 5 letters last week alone. He actually asked for more stamps, so I mailed him a little book of stamps. He was saying that to buy stamps there is $10 for 6 stamps. I thought that was crazy, because I can just go down to Kroger and get, I think it's $11 for 20 stamps. And if we're only on week 2 or entering week 3, I think he needs more than 6 stamps. So I went ahead and I bought him a couple of booklets of those. I sent them to him. So hopefully he'll be able to have enough stamps for the rest of BMT. So yeah, I think that's it concerning week 2. He has updated me in the letters about the food, the sleeping, jobs that he's doing, how hot it is. So he's been able to cover a lot of grounds with like telling me how it is there, which is nice. Because like I said in the previous video, I have watched tons of videos on what it's like at BMT, so I kind of have an idea. But it's nice to hear from him. He said the food's pretty good actually, which is surprising. He doesn't have much time to eat it, but it's pretty good. I think he said he was able to go to like the vending machine and he got like a soda or candy at the end of week 2. So that was like a privilege, and like he was very excited about that. But looking forward is the 15-minute phone call, and I am super excited. I have a million things I want to ask that I like haven't received answers from the letters yet. I'm sure he has a million things to ask about Archie, how he's doing, what's going on. I also just want to confirm some things about graduation and travel. But I'm so excited for that 15-minute phone call. So that's going to be what's next week. I did decide to do week 2 on its own video, just because I was so excited about that like 30-second phone call and the multiple letters that I thought week 2 was very exciting. I did actually, last night, I joined the Air Force Wing Mom's spouse page, as well as my husband's like flight and squadron page. Now you do have to get approved to enter those, and these are all on Facebook. So you know when you write your airman and it has it's like TRS FLT, so the flight number and all that stuff you just search for on Facebook, and you can get accepted, and you'll find out like who your husband or spouse is with and their spouses or their moms. And it's really cool. I've been looking through all the comments lately and figuring out where people are from, like whether they're like 2,000 miles away or whether they're like 300, you know, it's pretty cool where all of these people are coming from, and they're all together in the same fleet. So I suggest finding that, because there's a lot of helpful information as well. People are always posting and commenting and posting pictures, and previous people that have already graduated are posting pictures in like the spouse page, but it's a lot of helpful information. So I just joined that last night, and I'm already just like find myself scrolling and looking through all this. So I suggest definitely checking that out. A huge thing that I have been seeing is, if this is your spouse, it probably matters a little more, is when they're going to get paid. My husband left for BMT on the 13th, and so if you know anything about military, they get paid on the 15th and the 1st of the month. Now, we had been warned that it may take a while to get paid, and so I was like, definitely not the 15th. And today is actually September 1st, but because it is a Sunday and it's Labor Day weekend, they would have got paid on the Friday, I believe, which we have not gotten paid yet. And I'm not too concerned about it, because the way everyone had been posting is that it may take like up to like 6 or 8 weeks, which is kind of crazy, but you will get those payments from before. Like, you will get back pay. So it's not like that check will just be one paycheck or whatever. So we will wait for our housing allowance and his paychecks. They'll all come probably like September 15th, I would think. But if not that, then the beginning of October. Not too concerned about that, but some people were wondering. That's how it works. And then that'll show up in their account, obviously. It will be minus $400. I've seen $500, but I think the airmen get $400 deducted from their first paycheck, so they could buy goods, stamps, deodorant, all that kind of stuff at the BMT store. It's on like a little debit card that they can use in the beginning. So it's like an advance of like $400 from their first paycheck. But don't be worried. If anything, just write your airman in the letter, being like, hey, how's it going? Like, when is that gonna happen? During the phone call, you can always ask. I'm excited to see when the phone call happens, like what time of the day, what day. I'm also curious because tomorrow is Labor Day, and since it is a military holiday, I was wondering what it will be like at BMT. Maybe it'll be normal, maybe it'll be like a Sunday. I'm not too sure. But those are my final thoughts on week 2. We are now entering week 3. Very, very excited for the 15-minute phone call, like I've said like 5 times. But when you have such like little contact with your husband or spouse, you get very excited for those 15 minutes. But I will catch up with you guys in the following week, and I will let you know how that phone call goes. All right, bye guys.